Welcome back to my YouTube channel, guys. So in today's video, I'll be doing a technical breakdown on some major pairs. So I'll kick off with the USD, which was the DXY. So looking at DXY on the monthly time frame, right? So price I've gotten into a trend line, so price I've gotten into a key level, like a major level right here. So now looking at it here, this was the third touch of the trend line. So we have the first touch here, we have the second touch, and we have the third touch here. Though price already touched like the level like in the past, so but we still have a retracement back to the downside for price to like come and test the trend line again, and also for price to like test this key level again. So looking at it like this, it's likely that the US dollar continue moving back to the upside. So looking at how price currently respecting this level now, so the USD might continue moving back to the upside from here. So because this was the third touch of the trend line here, and so price have gotten to a major key level here, so it's likely that price continue moving back to the upside from here. So the way I'm looking at it, so now if the USD continue moving higher, so we know that it's going to affect EURUSD and also GBPUSD, so as the other USD pair. So now looking at it here, you could say that price have gotten into the zone right here. Price have gotten into the trend line, so price have gotten into the scale right here. So it's likely that price continue moving back to the upside. And looking at it on the daily time frame now, so when price goes into the zone, price starts forming all this bullish candlestick. So this was the first touch of this trend line, like when price like firstly came back down to touch it, and price moved it back to the upside. And now price is still back down here, and price is still currently respecting it. So if price could break above this level here, if price could break here, so then the USD might just continue moving back to the upside, back into this next major key level here. So the way I'm looking at it is, so now that price have gotten to this major level now, so the US dollar might just continue moving back to the upside from here, because this was like I said, this was like the third touch of the monthly trend line. So looking at it on the monthly time frame, and also price have gotten into a key level too, so price might just like continue moving back to the upside from here. And also we have, so as price was moving to the upside, so we have this level here, like this minor level here. So if price was able to break above this level, so then price is just going to continue moving back to the upside completely from here. So and at the same time, price could still like go rejected from here and decline back to the downside. So like the way I'm looking at it is, if the US dollar wants to continue moving back to the upside, so price will have to clear this level here. So if price clear this level here, then the USD might just like continue back to the upside completely, or price might just like go ejected from here and still continue like start declining back to the downside. But I'm favoring the upside because the trend of the market still remain bullish, like looking at it on the monthly. And also price got into the key level and also got into the trend. So I'm more looking at it on the bullish perspective. So I'm just looking at it that price might just continue moving back to the upside based on this key level here, and also based on this trend line here. So price might just like continue moving back to the upside. So price might just like continue gaining strength back to the upside. So the way I'm looking at it, so like I just said on the monthly time frame, so price have come back down to touch the level again. So this was the first touch of it, and price have still came back down to touch it again. So price might just like continue moving back to the upside from here. So price might just like continue heading higher from here. And now looking at USD, so we know that the USD is definitely going to be affecting EURUSD and also the other USD pair. So now looking at EURUSD here, so there was a trend line here that I drew. So based on the touches here, so based on how price like this area here, so this was just like the first touch of it, and this was the second touch of it. So now the way I'm looking at EURUSD is that, so if price wants to continue moving back to the upside, so it's likely that maybe we could have a push back to the downside, back into this level. So like I said, the USD is currently gaining strength, and if that continues, like if the USD continue back to the downside, so we know that USD will continue dropping back to the downside, since this was like the inverse of like the USD. So it's just like the USD turn upside down. So if the USD continue back to the upside, so definitely USD will continue moving back to the downside. So now the way I'm looking at USD is that, so looking at the structure on the daily time frame, so we have a higher high here, we have a higher low, we have a high, we have a higher low, and we can call this a higher high because this high is quite higher than this previous high. So looking at it this way, so this high is quite higher than this previous high, so we can consider this as a higher high. And if I draw a Fibonacci here from swing low to swing high like this, so this was how it is. So looking at it this way, So I'm expecting, so if Euro USD wants to continue moving back to the upside, so I'm expecting a further drop back into this level here, back into this, like this daily level, and so back into this Fibonacci level. So this might still be a touch of this trend line, so maybe the touch of it. So I might be expecting it to like a movement back to the downside, back into this key level, and also back into this Fibonacci level before price to continue like moving back to the upside. So at the same time, like I just said, like the USD is currently gaining strength. So if the USD continue like moving back to the upside from there, so if price continue gaining strength, so price, so the way I'm going to be looking for selling opportunity. So we all know that if the US dollar continue gaining strength, so Euro USD will continue back to the downside. So that if that happens, then price might not hold at this level. So price might just got into this trend line level and also this minor level and the Fibonacci level, and then break it back to the downside and continue heading lower. So what I'm going to be doing is, if price continue moving back to the downside from here, like if price continue declining back to the downside, so what I will do is that I will just I'll just wait for price to break this minor level. So let me firstly, so yeah, I'll just wait for price to, like if price continue moving back to the downside from here, I'll wait for price to continue heading back to the downside and for price to break this level here. So if price continue moving back to the downside from here and we have a break of this minor level and a break of this trend line, so then I'll just be waiting for maybe a little test of it. Then I'm going to be shorting the market back to the downside. So that's just like how I'm going to be like got into this trade. So like I just said, if the USD continue moving back to the upside and if the USD continue back to the downside and the USD, like the Euro USD continue dropping back to the downside, so this is how I'm going to be looking to get into a sell trade on Euro USD. So if price continue declining back to the downside, so then I'll just be expecting a further drop for price to break this trend line. After we have a break of this trend line, so a break of these minor levels and we have a test of it, so then I'm going to be looking for an opportunity to go into a trade. So what I'm going to be doing is, if price continue heading lower like this and break this key level and also break this trend line, so if I'm going to be using the 4-hour time frame for entry, so then I'll wait for a break and retest of it and for price to like continue heading lower. But if I did not get that, so then maybe I'm just going to be using a daily candlestick close below this level. So if a daily candlestick close below this trend and also close below this minor level here, so I'm going to be using that to get into a trade. Like I'm going to be using that to get into a sell trade. So that's how I'm going to be using it. Like that's how I'm going to be getting a trade. So either a 4-hour candlestick, like a 4-hour break and retest of this level for me to short, or a daily candlestick close below for me to go into a sell trade. And at the same time, as price was moving to the downside, so I'm still watching it closely. If price goes here and price start forming some bullish candlestick, and then I notice that maybe the USD got into a resistance level and price wants to continue back to the downside, so maybe I might be looking to get into a buy trade on Euro USD. But for now, this is just like how I'm looking at it. So if this level does not hold, if this minor level and also this trend and Fibonacci level does not hold, so then I will be waiting for price to break it, and then I'll start looking for selling opportunity. That if the USD continue moving back to the upside, and if the USD continue dropping back to the downside again, so definitely price will continue moving back to the upside. So same goes to GBPUSD. So now let's talk about GBPUSD as well. So looking at GBPUSD, so like I don't actually have to go to our time frame, so let's just stick to the daily time frame here. So looking at this trend line, we have a first touch of it here, we have a second touch of it, and so price is now going back down again. So look, the way I'm looking at it is, so like I said, if the USD continue moving back to the downside, so like all these USD pairs might just continue moving back to the downside. Like if the USD continue moving back to the upside, so all these USD pairs might just like continue moving back to the downside. So now, but looking at it on a buy perspective, right? So if price wants to continue heading higher, so we should have, so if price wants to continue moving back to the upside, so maybe we are just having a retracement back into this Fibonacci level, this trend line level, and also this key level. So this is just like the way I'm looking at it on a buy perspective. Like if like I want to get into a buy trade, right? So I'm waiting for price to pull back into this trend line again, to come and touch it for the third touch, and also for price to touch this key level. So this was the major level. So for price to go into the major level, got into the Fibonacci level, and then continue moving back to the upside. So this is like the way I'm looking at it. If I'm going to be looking to go into a buy trade, but at the same time, like I just said, USD is currently gaining strength, and if that happens, all these USD pairs are definitely going to be moving to the downside. So if that bullish movement continues, right, I'm going to be looking to short GBPUSD, and how I'm going to be looking to short it is just based on a break of this trend line and also a break of this major level. So if price broke this trend and also break this major level and we have a test of it, so then I'll be getting into a set trade back to the downside. So this is just like how I'll be looking to trade like GBPUSD at the moment. So if the USD continue heading higher and GBPUSD continue dropping further to the downside, so I'll be waiting for price to break this trend line back to the downside and also for price to break this key level here. So after we have a break of this level, so then I'll be looking to go into a set trade. So after we have a break and retest, so if we have a 4-hour break and retest, so I'll be using the 4-hour time frame to go into like a 4-hour break and retest to go into a trade. And if we have a daily candlestick close below here, so I'll be using that to go into a set trade. So either price got into this level and start moving back to the upside, expecting this daily movement back to the upside, or we have a break and retest to short this market to the downside. So that's just like how I'm looking at GBPUSD at the moment. So I know that anything can happen at this point. So price can get here, find support and continue back to the upside, and at the same time price could still break it and then continue moving back to the downside. So that's just like how I'm looking at it at the moment. So if that happens, so maybe I'll still be talking about like how I'm going to be placing my TP and all that, but for now this is just like the analysis on how I'm looking at the markets at the moment for the week. So yeah, if anything happens, so I'll still be updating you guys on like how to like place the TP and all that. But I do have a Telegram channel where I send out like my signals and also market insights, what I thought is going to be happening in the markets, and when I'm about to go into a trade. So I have a Telegram channel. So the link to my Telegram channel is going to be in the description of this video. So make sure you guys check it out. So that's just it about GBPUSD. So now let's talk about, I think we have AUDUSD left. Yeah. So looking at AUDUSD too, AUDUSD I've gotten into a trend line, like a third touch of a trend line, and also yeah. So looking at this trend line here, we have a first touch of it, we have a second touch of it, and we have a third touch of it here. So AUDUSD I've also gotten into a trend line level, and also price I've gotten into this key level here. So now EURUSD, without a doubt, EURUSD is going to continue rolling back to the downside. So I'm very sure about that. So because the structure still remains very much bearish, so the structure is still very much bearish. So EURUSD is definitely going to collapse back to the downside because the price got into it. So looking at the structure, we have a lower high, we have a lower low. So this is likely to be another potential lower high here. So price might go here, go rejected back to the downside, and also start moving back to the downside completely. So what I'm looking at, the way I'm looking at it is we have the third touch of this trend line. So like I said, we have the first touch of it here, we have the second touch of it here, and now we have the third touch of it here. So now price, like I said, price might just like decline here and continue heading lower. And by the way I'm looking at it, so price I've gotten, like I said, price I've gotten to this zone, got into this key level too. So everything was just like clearly pointing to the downside. So I have no doubts about AUDUSD moving to the downside, right? So we have a counter trend, we have a little counter trend that price have broken around this level here. So price have broken like this minor counter trend line here. So price might just like continue moving back to the downside completely. But for me to go into a set trade, so I will have to wait for price to like break this level here. So if price could like break this upward ascending trend line here, so then I'll be using that to go into a set trade. But for now, I know that price is going to continue heading back to the downside. So I'm just watching it closely. If price could break this, like this counter trend line, this ascending trend line, and also broke this final level here, so I'll be using that to go into a set trade. So like I said, I do have a Telegram channel where I send out my signals and also where I drop like trading insights. So if you guys want to like take an advantage of it, so I just like click the link in the description of the video, and also just to like join the Telegram channel. So for you, like, so that whenever I'm dropping all this trading signal, so that you guys will be able to like take all these trades. So that's just it on the USD pair. So like I said, the USD is very much bullish, which was the DXY, and also EURUSD. And if that bullish movements continue, right, EURUSD, GBPUSD, and also like all these USD pairs like AUDUSD as well, so they'll be moving to the downside. So if So that's just my take on the USD pair. So now let's quickly go and look at JPAUD, right? So now let's look at it here. So looking at JPAUD, looking at it this way, we have this trend which was to the downside. So we have a first touch of this trend line, we have a second touch of it, and we have somewhat of a third touch of it here. So I'm looking at it in two ways, right? So price, so now we have, so looking at it here, we have a higher high here, we have a higher low, we have a high, and we have a higher low. So now looking at it this way, we have, so drawing a Fibonacci from here, price have gotten into a major level and also gotten into the Fibonacci level, but the level have been broken back to the downside. So looking at it this way, so the level have been broken to the downside, as you can see. So this was supposed to be the third touch of this trend line, but price broke it to the downside here. So now, like, I'm looking at this in two ways. So if price wants, so based on how price break it here with this bearish candlestick, and also based on how price is forming this weak candlestick, so price might continue moving back to the downside from here. Like, price might just like continue declining back to the downside from here, back into this key level here. So there was a key level here which was in line with the 78.6 Fibonacci level. So price might like be in line with it. So that's just like how I'm looking at it. So price might just continue moving back to the downside from here, and at the same time this could still like be just like a B, like was somewhat of a fake out. So if price wants to continue moving back to the upside, we should have a break of this counter trend line. So it's very simple. So I'm not just like, I'm just waiting for, so if price wants to like definitely going to like be moving to the upside, back to the upside again, so price should like break above this counter trend line again. So maybe a 4-hour candlestick break above this counter trend line, so then I'll be interested in getting into a buy trade. So I've been watching this trade for a long time, so I'm just waiting for, so if price wants to continue heading higher, so I'm looking to buy since the direction of the market is very much bullish. So what I'm just going to be doing is just for price to break this upward trend line. So let me first delete this trend line. So for price to break this, like this trend line here, so we'll see that price just like retrace back to this 61.8 Fibonacci level here. So it's likely that price continue moving back to the upside. So this might just be a fake out, then price start trading below it, and we might just have a bullish continuation back to the upside. So that's just like how I'm looking at it. It's very simple. So if price wants to continue back to the upside, we should have a break of this counter trend, and if price wants to continue heading lower, so maybe we are just coming into this key level and also coming back into, so this was the level here. So this was the key level here, and also the 78.6 Fibonacci level. So maybe price wants to retrace back into this level here before moving back to the upside. So like I said, for me to get into a buy trade, price should like break above this level with a bullish candlestick, like a 4-hour bullish candlestick, and also if price wants to continue heading lower, so price should come into this level, like this key level here, before I start looking for buying opportunities. So that's just like how I'm looking at GBPUSD at the moment. So let me just quickly recap all I've said before. So before I just like bend it. So now looking at it here, the direction of the market, like I said on the DXY, is very much bullish, right? So price have gotten into a monthly key level, and also price have gotten into a third touch of this trend line. So it's likely that price continue moving back to the upside. So price currently respecting this level with this candlestick weak. So it's likely there was a high chance of price moving in from here back to the downside. So, and also we have a level here that I'm currently worried about. So if price could break out of this level, then the USD have no issue. So the USD have no issue moving to the upside, but at the same time, like I said, price could still go rejected from here and continue back to downside. But I'm more bullish on the US dollar since the direction of the market is very much bullish. So I'm more bullish on the US dollar. So that's why on EURUSD, if price continuing back to the downside, so like I said, this was a Fibonacci level. So this was just a quick recap of what I've said before. So if price wants to continue moving back to the upside, we should have a retracement back into this minor level, this daily level, and also back into this Fibonacci level before I start looking for buying opportunity, because this seems like a higher high here, because this high is quite higher than this previous high. So anything can still happen. Price can continue heading higher, and if the USD continue like moving to the upside, so definitely USD is going to be breaking below this level. So if that happens, we are just going to be having like a break of this level, like a break of this minor level, and also a break of this trend line, and we should have a retest of it for me to sell back to the downside. So that's just like how I'm looking at USD at the moment. And looking at JPUSD, same thing goes to JPUSD. If price continue moving back to the downside, so maybe it could be the third touch of this daily trend line, also a touch of this key, a touch of this key level, like this support level, and price might just like respect it and continue heading higher. And it was still in line with the Fibonacci level, so it's likely that price got into it and continue heading higher. But in a situation whereby the USD continue moving back to the upside, so then we are going to be having a break of this level. So we are going to be having a break of this level, have maybe a retest of it, then I start looking for buying opportunity and selling opportunity back to the downside. So it's very simple. Either price goes here, find support and continue heading higher, or price break it to the downside and we start looking for selling opportunity, either with a break and retest on the 4-hour or a daily candlestick close below here. So that's just, it's very simple. AUDUSD as well. So price have got into a confluence zone. So price got into a trend, touch of a trend line, going to a key level. And currently price is currently declining back to the downside. So I know that price is definitely going to be moving to the downside on AUDUSD. So I'm also looking to go into a surgery. Like I say, I have a Telegram channel where I drop a trading insight and also where I drop a trading signal. So to got in, so when I'm about to go into all this trade, so I'll be sending it out to my Telegram channel. So make sure you guys check it out in the description of this video. So that's it for USD, and the last pair is GBPAUD. So if I'm to look for a buy, like if I'm going to be looking to go into a buy trade, so we should have a break of this level, like a break of this counter trend line for price to continue back to the upside, or maybe if price still continue heading lower, so maybe we are just coming to test this key level here and also touch this Fibonacci level before heading higher. So that's just it for today's video, guys. So if you guys find today's video helpful, so don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and also share the video to others so that they can also take an advantage of it. So that's just it for today's video. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.